Hey there, welcome to the show. My name is Jamie Zweer, and I am the host of the Oh How Healthy podcast and the founder of Oh How Healthy Insiders, my signature membership site showing busy women how to simplify healthy eating so that it can fit into your budget and your schedule, not only for your health, but your family's health as well. I know that you're busy, so I'm going to keep these episodes short, sweet, and to the point. And without any further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I am your host, Jamie, and welcome. All right, so today I wanted to chat a little bit about something that I do that immediately helps me get back on track. I'm not always perfect with my nutrition. I'm not always on point with drinking water. There's definitely times that I have to really fine tune what I'm doing. And this quarantine, for example, was a really good time when I need to do that because I found myself getting off schedule. I found myself maybe snacking on things that I wouldn't normally snack on, etc. And so when I feel maybe I notice a little bit extra bloat or I'm, feeling a little bit sluggish, I notice that, things need to fine tune themselves, and bringing attention to what you're doing is very powerful. And one of the best ways that I find to do that is by tracking my food. And so today I want to share a few surprising benefits that come from tracking your food. Because you might be thinking, I know what I'm eating. That's not really going to be helpful for me. Or, I have the same thing every day, or I don't really eat anything. I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat lunch. I just have a little dinner and I can't figure out why I, am struggling with this. And so it really is very surprising when you start tracking your food, what is actually going on. So what are some things that you feel like that could be sneaking itself into your system, or you could also not be having enough food. And so by tracking your food is a great way to assess the situation and figure out what is going on. And so this is a great time to start tracking your food if you've never done it before, or if you kind of wanted to get into a better habit of doing it, because summer's coming up, right? And when it's summertime and we wear a little less clothing, we're a little bit more aware or self-conscious possibly of our bodies. And there's really no need for that. It's really just about bringing awareness again to the situation. We don't need to be on a diet that's going to deprive us. It's not about putting ourselves down. It's just about making smart choices from here on out. That's what I'm really all about. I really like to be preventative, proactive. Yesterday was yesterday. Last week was last week. We are where we are now. And now let's do the best that we can with that. That's what I really find beneficial about food tracking. It's I'm going to start. It's a fresh start. And every single day is a fresh start too. So some surprising benefits that come from tracking your food are weight loss and improved portion control. So when we're tracking our food, we are becoming hyper aware of what we are putting in our mouths. Maybe we're able to second guess an unhealthy treat that we're putting in our mouth. Or maybe we're going to assess before we have a second helping of something. Or if we're tracking our food using an app, which I'm going to talk about in a second, about different ways that we can use to track our food. But if you're using an app, you might become aware of what the portion size is that you're having, whereas previously you weren't really paying attention to that. You might have just had a handful of almonds and didn't really realize that you were having 2 or 3 serving sizes of almonds. You were just, enjoying a snack. And so you're thinking to yourself, I'm being healthier. I'm having almonds for a snack, but little did you know you're consuming a couple servings. That can be detrimental in the long run if weight loss is your goal. Because yes, almonds are healthy, but if you're having, too much of anything is not a good thing. So, by tracking your food in a food diary can help you improve your portion control, thus helping you lose weight. And so weight loss is a benefit. Improved portion control is going to be a benefit of tracking your food. Improved nutrition, you're going to make smarter choices. This always happens to me when I start tracking my food. I become very aware of, little things that I could just pop into my mouth. Maybe if I'm driving through a Starbucks drive-through with my husband and my husband gets a Frappuccino, I get a coffee, I have a sip of his Frappuccino or a couple sips or a few sips. And so those sips could go underneath the radar. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but those things make you, when you're tracking your food, it makes you double think, okay, do I really even want to have a sip of that Frappuccino? Because then I'm going to have to take out my journal, I'm going to have to write it down. And those sips could, it could lead to extra calories. It could be that, extra sugar that you're not looking to incorporate. And by tracking your food, it helps you make smarter food choices. And it just makes you think about the food that you're having in general. All right, so in addition to that, keeping a food journal helps you identify unhealthy eating triggers. And so this was really helpful for me when I was overcoming my eating disorder by tracking my food. And this is mainly beneficial if you're tracking your food in addition to tracking emotions around your food, your feelings when you're eating. And this is very important. It may sound silly, but I would find myself sometimes just standing in the fridge looking for something to eat or mindlessly snacking on something in the pantry. And when I would recognize, okay, my thoughts around when I'm eating or what's going on or what led me to the pantry, I just finished eating, why am I even here? I'm not even hungry. Keeping a food journal can help with identifying those unhealthy eating triggers because it's going to make you just think about what is going on. You're thinking about what you're eating, you're thinking about what's going on, you're thinking about why you're doing what you're doing, which is really the first step to improving or breaking any bad habit, right? So in addition to creating awareness, which is key when striving for any health goal, keeping a food diary can help you be more accountable to a program that you're starting, or maybe a healthy habit you are looking to achieve is drinking more water, or whatever it is. Day after day, tracking what it is that you're doing is going to help hold you accountable. If you don't have someone on your side holding you accountable, then you need to hold yourself accountable, and that journal can help you do just that. And then also you are noticing progress day after day, and it's going to become easier as time goes along. The first week you might have missed a couple days. The second week, okay, you're getting into the swing of it. Maybe the third week you forget it all in all, but then the fourth week you're like, you're getting into the sync of things, and so you can notice, where you were when you started and where you're at now, and you can, make it your own. Make this food journal your own. Make it work for you. Maybe circling foods that were not beneficial for you, that maybe you track your food and then you're looking back in your notes and say, all right, I had this then, I had that then, I could probably try to improve this. And maybe you circle things in a different color marker, and so you're going back and reviewing and then analyzing those results and then making improvements for the next week. That was something that I did. I would be very honest with myself. It's very important to be honest with yourself when you're keeping a food journal, because after all, you're doing it for yourself. So you'd only be hurting yourself if you weren't being honest with yourself. So I would write things down, and then I would go back and say, okay, well, how come I had French fries after I just ate lunch that day, or whatever it was. And so I became aware. And I would say, okay, well, now when I go to work, I'm going to make sure that I pack my lunch, because otherwise I go to the pizza store, I order a salad, but then I always dive into my friend's chips or fries. You know what I mean? So you're just bringing awareness, and then you're making progress day after day and week after week. And all that matters is that you just keep moving forward. Even if you miss a day or a two or a week, you're just moving forward day after day. So some of my favorite ways to track my food or keep a food journal is by, good old pen and paper. I will usually just grab like a small little, iPhone size notebook with a pen in it, keep it by my purse, keep it by my desk. Keep it somewhere close by that I can just jot things down in. Sometimes I'll even use the notepad in my phone if I don't have the notebook around. You can also use an app like MyFitnessPal or Lose It, and I'll link those below so that you can just click on them and download them. I believe, MyFitnessPal is a free app, and I believe Lose It is still a free app. And, again, you have to do what works for you. So when I first started to keep a food journal, like a good old pen and paper, I would have to leave it on the ledge in between my first floor and my second floor, because I was aware of it when I seen it there, because otherwise I have notebooks everywhere. I have a million notepads in my phone. I just wasn't into the habit of jotting things down just yet. And so I noticed that, on the little ledge in between my first and second floor, I would see the journal. And as much as I didn't want to stop and write things down, just like any new habit we're trying to implement, I forced myself to get into the habit of doing it. And again, it gets easier as time goes on, and it's very helpful. And so if you want to be really specific with your food journaling, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it very specifically. So you can use an app like MyFitnessPal, and you can actually scan the barcodes, which is really helpful. Of, let's say you scan the barcode of oatmeal, and it will automatically pick up one serving. It will say, a half a cup of oats. Okay, I'm going to jot this down. And so it will bring your attention again to the serving size of what it is you're having. Or if you're using a pen and paper, just take a look at the serving size, be specific with what you're having. Maybe if you have to start off by just measuring out your food, do that to get comfortable with the serving size or the portion size. And then after okay, this is what a half a cup looks like, this is what a cup looks like, I really don't need to measure it out anymore. It can be really helpful. And then also in the app, it will jot down the macros of the food. So how many carbohydrates, how much fat, how much sugar, how much fiber, how much protein is in each food also. So that's a little added bonus. And then you can also track your water, your digestion, you can leave little notes in there too, which is all very helpful. So again, I hope that this was helpful for you. Tracking your food can be a really powerful tool. It's just important that you start somewhere, start with maybe you start with where you struggle with most. Maybe you struggle around dinner time or dessert time, or you struggle just figuring out, a breakfast that works for you, that's going to help give you energy. Start there, and don't make it like this big thing where I'm like, okay, I have to track all my food, every meal for the next month. No, just maybe say, okay, I'm just going to track my breakfast. I'm just going to track my dinner, so I'm not mindlessly snacking, or I'm just going to keep track of my desserts so that I can make sure I'm keeping my portion size in check during that time. And just do what works for you. Remember, just be, we want to be preventative here. It doesn't matter, where we're starting from. All that matters is that we start. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye. Thanks so much for being here, guys. If you found this podcast to be helpful, please feel free to share it with a friend, a family member, a coworker, anyone who you think could benefit from it as well. And if you would be so kind to leave a rating or review, it helps out the podcast tremendously. So thanks again for being here, and I will catch you in the next episode.